Welcome to my art practice activity, which is in response to the work of Pipilotti Rist, and specifically her recent exhibition at the Australian Centre for Contemporary Art entitled I Packed the Postcard in My Suitcase. Today our task is to create a small-scale installation including at least one audio-visual component in the style of Rist's 2007 piece, Gravity Be My Friend. Prior to this activity, students have already been introduced and exposed to the artist and her medium, and have considered and brainstormed the form and function of her installation at ACCA. As a class, we have considered the style of Rist's work, and have been exposed to her installations via online presentations and our visit to ACCA. Students have already been introduced to symbolism and will have observed the use of colour and recurring objects in Rist's work at the Australian Centre for Contemporary Art, but the real reason that we went there was to gain a greater sense of our role in Rist's art. We focused initially on our senses, including touch, sight, smell and sound, but also on the scale of Rist's work, and afterwards the feelings that we had being invited into the artwork and why Rist constructs her installations in this way. Upon our return to school, we used a Venn diagram to compare and contrast this to the traditional museum experience. This careful consideration serves to enhance our own artwork, that we may showcase our understandings within that. Materials required for this activity include cardboard or a box to create a room for the students' small-scale installation, decorative paper, string, that sort of thing, to furnish the walls and floors of their installation, adhesive, such as glue and tape, to stick down the above, an iPod or an iPad to create the audio-visual component of their work, and a variety of either created or collected props to enhance their work and to symbolise themselves within it. Having focused on the role of the audience in Pipilotti Rist's own work and the symbolism she uses on film, students will now work independently to create their small-scale installation as a representation of themselves, their ideas or their beliefs. Based on the scale of the piece, it being designed as a peephole into their mind, students will need to carefully consider the scale of the objects they select to use in their installation. Having already studied the use of symbolism in others' work and now their own, students will carefully select imagery that not only represents themselves, but will be able to be decoded by their audience as such. Teachers should use a line of questioning, carefully considered and as informed by analysing artwork using the conceptual framework, to scaffold their students' learning and deepen their understanding of why they're constructing it in a certain way. Questions might include, what is your message? What signs or symbols display your beliefs and identity? What will your artwork be made of? Based on a peep into Ryan's mind, we can decode some messages from the images and symbols he has selected, such as
my family, because they are important to me, grass and leaves because I like being in nature, my watch because I like to know the time, and Collingwood because I go for Collingwood.
As is fitting for a contemporary classroom, and as stated in the shape of the Australian curriculum years 5 to 6, it is important that students present their work with an awareness of space, purpose and context, but they should also plan deliberately and increase skills in selecting and manipulating ICT and digital technologies. As you can see here, Ryan is working with an iPod, but he also has an Android to film footage of himself, which will later be installed into his art. So here we have Ryan's final product. Could we have a look at it in action? Ryan's made the addition of lighting, and he's chosen a song. As a formal assessment, students may create a written response to the questions outlined in the Analysing an Artwork using the conceptual framework, or they might simply be assessed on their ability to explain the purpose of their piece and the signs and symbols that they created to use meaning. Thank you for watching.